All right, students. So we're on the second video in this series of how to solve these triangle problems. So we already talked about which side is which on the triangle and what sine, cosine, and tangent are. And now we just need to figure out what to do with these problems. So in these problems, what I want you to focus on is using the two numbers that are given. So in physics, we are going to be spending a lot of time where we know two sides of the triangle, or we know one side and an angle, and we need to figure out something else about the triangle. So you have to use those two numbers because those are the only two numbers that you are given. And then what I want you to do is solve for the other three things that you don't know. So here we have a side that is 7 and a hypotenuse that is 20. And so the first thing that I want to look at is that this one is number 16 is looking for y. All right. So in fact, because we're given two sides, this is the only one that we do not need to use SOHCAHTOA to solve. So don't try. Y then, or I should say, so what you're going to want to do is use Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And if you don't remember, these are both sides, and c is your length of your hypotenuse. All right, so in this question, 7 is a side, so I'm going to just say that's a. It doesn't matter if you say it's a or b. So 7 squared plus b y squared, because that's the other side. And that'll be equal to my hypotenuse squared, and my hypotenuse is 20, so equals 20 squared. All right, so then I need to be able to move this around, so y is all by itself on one side of the equation. So the easiest thing to do here is to subtract the 7 squared. So I'm going to subtract 7 squared from both sides. And I cross my 7s just to make sure that it's clear that it's a 7. All right, so then those cancel out, and I'm left with y squared is equal to 20 squared minus 7 squared. So then I need to do the opposite of squared to get rid of that. Well, the opposite of square is square root, so I'm going to square root both sides. And I'll get y is equal to the square root of 20 minus 7 squared. All right, so if you were in math class, you would have to actually know what all of that is exactly. But in physics, I'm more interested in you knowing how to get this far, and then you will be given a calculator on every test. So you don't have to actually calculate it out. You just need to be able to type it into your calculator correctly. So for the actual math test, this is all the farther you need to go. If you want to square them out and solve for it exactly, that is also fine. In the next video, I'll go over number 17.